Hello, we're First for EPA, an endpoint assessment organisation that helps apprentices prepare for EPA. In this video, we'll look at what you can expect during your endpoint assessment, and we'll share some tips on how you can prepare for your EPA. EPA is the last hurdle in your apprenticeship, and it's exactly that, a hurdle, not a finish. This means you'll need to take time to prepare. Let's talk through the key points. 1. Know the assessment criteria. These are written in the assessment plan, and you should also know them from your on-programme learning and your EPAO's materials, like our toolkit. The assessment criteria are what the assessor will grade you against. These and only these. They're usually in categories and often called knowledge, skills and behaviours, or the what, the how and the with whom. For more on these, see our video Get Your Portfolio EPA Ready. Our first tip is to make sure you know these criteria inside out. Better still, think about how you've applied each one in your role. 2. Know the assessment methods. Endpoint assessment always contains at least 2 assessment methods. These might include a written report, a multiple choice test, an observation or a discussion. The methods used are set for each apprenticeship standard, and you'll find details in your toolkit or the assessment plan. Having different methods of assessment works in your favour. If you're not great at writing reports, maybe you're more comfortable with speaking about what you know. Use assessment to your advantage to show off your skills. Number 3. Know what to expect from the assessor. Assessment can be daunting, but assessors are friendly and there to make you feel relaxed and give an opportunity to demonstrate what you know. They'll introduce the assessment and give you a chance to ask any questions before you begin. You need to know that the assessor isn't allowed to give you any feedback or indication of how you've performed. If you're having a professional discussion or an interview, the assessor may say, "Okay, write notes," or simply move the conversation on. They aren't trying to be intimidating. They're trained to stay neutral. Number 4. Assessors understand the pressure of assessment. If you're undergoing assessment and you're working from home, that's fine. Try to find a quiet space to take your assessment, but if there's background noise, assessors understand and this won't affect your grade. If the assessor asks you a question and you need time to think, ask them if you can move on and come back to that later. Assessors aren't trying to catch you out, and they understand the pressure that you're under. 5. Plan, and plan some more. Before your assessment, you should take control and make sure you have everything you need to prepare. Read the assessment plan and the guidance you've been given by your EPAO or training provider. Ask for clarity where anything isn't clear. Make sure you've received confirmation of your assessment and details of how to join any video calls. Our top tip for preparing for interviews and professional discussions is to look at the assessment criteria that will be covered and think of 1 or 2 examples for how you've met each one during your time on programme. Next, practice speaking out loud. If you look at the number of assessment criteria and the length of the assessment, you might see you are expected to speak for several minutes for each. Preparation will help you. Number 6. Don't fall down on technicalities. If your project needs to be submitted 2 weeks before an assessment, make sure it's done in plenty of time. If a template is given to you, make sure you use it. Show the assessor you're committed to doing well in your EPA. Number 7. Know how remote assessments work. Much of the endpoint assessment is carried out remotely, often using video calls. When you're sent assessment confirmation, make sure you have any software that's needed and test it out before the day of your assessment. If you have any software issues, speak to your employer or training provider to try to resolve them in good time. In remote assessment, the assessor or invigilator will always give you an introduction and check your ID before the assessment begins. Video calls are usually recorded and you'll be notified of this beforehand and then again on the call. After the assessment, the assessor will write up their feedback and make their assessment decision. The EPAO then needs to go through quality checks before results can be issued. First for EPA issues results by email within 2 weeks, and your certificate from the Institute for Apprenticeships will follow. We hope this video has given you an idea of what to expect during your EPA. If you found the video useful, please like it, share it and leave a comment. For more advice on endpoint assessment, visit our blog at firstforepa.co.uk.